Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. As the first video on this channel, we start off a series for a tutorial for Python. Now, what is Python? Python is a programming language which you can use for data science, machine learning, and backend developing. Machine learning is working with AIs and robots. Backend developing is sort of so we have for example Facebook. The front end is the website itself, and the back end is the recommended videos, the recommended friends. That is backend, and that is what you can use as Python. In this series we're going to handle the basics, and maybe later we can do some projects and getting into intermediate Python. For the ones who don't have Python already, you can go to this link. It will be in the description. And you want to download Python. Click on this. Install now. It is good. Okay. You can close it. And then you can go out and see Python. Okay. So now I know I have downloaded successfully. Now for writing code, much easier. You also want a text editor. Now the one I use is Visual Studio Code. You have also PyCharm, but I like to use this one. If you have your own, it's totally fine. You can go, this one will also be in the description, and you can go on download. For me it's Windows, and then it will download. Okay, now I already have my Studio Code, so it's not working, but if you have some problems, put it in the comment section and I will reply. In Python, there is this thing called a variable, and variables are very so once you downloaded Visual Studio Code successfully, you want to go to this extensions. You can type in Python and you can install some things, and this will make coding and programming much easier and faster. So we want to make our first file. To go to here, you want to type in your name, and then important, you want to dot and then your programming language. For Python this is PI, and maybe for Java also coding language. Also do, no, that's not okay. So you want to do this, click enter, and we'll make this file. Okay, now let's start programming. First we want to print something on the screen, just do something. So we want to print, this is a module to print something on the screen. Now we want to print a message, and you can do this by the square brackets and type something. This now is your message. I want to say hello world. Hello world. Once you type your message, you can do here to run your code, and here it will come a terminal which outputs your code. And now you successfully programmed your first line of code in Python. So let's go on. Let's type your name now. My name is Peter. And types your name. Okay. Now can you do some other things? You want to print maybe a number? Yes. Can I just print a letter? Just a letter? No. Let's see. No. If I want this as a message, I can do square brackets, and then this will be a message. This we call a string. This is a string, and like I did before, I want to print out an integer. We make a variable. So I want to make a variable that stores a name. So I'm going to call this variable name. You want to do equals, and now my variable needs to equal a value or storage. Well, let's do John. Name, this is my variable, and it equals the message John. And now I want to print out my message, and I can just do print John, or I can print my variable, and you can do this by just printing our name. And now you can do enter, and it will automatically go. And if I now run my program, it will indeed output John. And if I do this, you can do lots of things with your data. I want to dial it. So if I want to dial the first letter of your word or your message will be uppercase. So John. And what if I do John James? Oh, James. Because most of the time your data will not be in uppercase. So you will need to manually do this. But if you have lots of data, then you all the time, then you need to change it manually. But if you want to code it, you want to do something faster. So now, John James, if I got loads of names, if I just dot title, all these names will get with the first letter uppercase. And this is all about programming. This is how you make your job faster. And that's actually the thing we want to do. So now we got a variable, but can we do other things? Can maybe I want the age 13. My age is 30. I want to print age. For while, do back John, and we want to sort of play with our code. So I am John. No, sorry. I am plus name. Now we can make John. And maybe we have loads of data and we manually need to change the name in the print. We'll make it so slow. So we can just take this, put the variable, and automatically does the work. But maybe I want to put my age into, so I want to plus and message, and I am plus age. But let's see. Oops. Now I want to see what is our mistake. Type error can only constant date string, not int to string. Might be a bit difficult, but it's not. These are all strings, and you cannot add a string with an integer. You can put an integer with an integer, and it's pretty easy. Like age 30, you cannot add with hello. Then you need to make 30 a message. So, and we can do that. We can make this a string by doing str and then open brackets. But we need to make, of course, to make it. And then it will be, then we'll go. So what if I want to print, and then I want to add to my age, so I want to age plus 3. So now I'm doing an integer and add it with an integer, and then it is possible. Okay, now let's work with our strings. So we want to edit our strings and be creative with it. This is a string, this is a message, and it's stored in our variable sentence. And here we print out sentence. Programming is fun. Okay. But maybe I want the sentence in full uppercase. Can do dot upper. And you can see programming is fun. Okay, but now I want it in full lowercase. Can do dot lower. And maybe you want to replace something with in the code. You don't want to do programming is fun, but you maybe want to change programming and replace it with baking. And so we're replacing programming with baking. Or you want to, how many letters are in our sentence? And you can do length for length. Mm, so I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do also dot index. Dot index will give you the number of where your letter so you're giving a letter and it will return to you in which the number in the order it is. Pretty pretty difficult, but if I do G is here and is here. 3, but it's the fourth place, right? This is where it gets little bit difficult. So I'm making a comment right now. A comment is a hashtag. A hashtag will do everything after the hashtag will be ignored. So the text editor will go from the top to the bottom. And if it sees a hashtag, it will ignore the code. So you can just write things to the people who are reading your code so they can understand it. So now I'm going to give you guys the order of something. The first letter will always be the index 0. And so it goes on. The second is the first, the third is the second, the fourth is the third, and so on. So what if I do so it is the second. And you can also do it the other way. You can do this, and then you can type in an index number. So I can do 5, and then it will give us a letter in which the index number has stored with. So indeed 5A, and it outputs A. It's a bit difficult, but we're here to learn, and at the end, it's most important that you get it and that you understand it. Something also useful to know is \n. So if I do \n, what is \s going to do? It is going to make a new row. So if I do ingredients and then this, it's a bit weird. And if you want to put a new row, you can do \n, and it will be easy to make a new row. You can also do \n and \t, makes it a \n and a tab. But you can also do it just like this. Be creative. So now I want to give you a bit of information how every text editor will work. It will work from the top to the bottom. So it will first read line 1, then line 2, then line 3. So if you store your variable um, before you want to use it. It is logic because then the editor knows what the variable is. Kind of difficult, but it's just like if I put it afterwards, it doesn't know the variable yet. So now it's like sentence, no, sentence is not defined yet. So make sure everything what you need to define, make sure it is before you use it. This is a common mistake. Now let's work with numbers. So in Python you can do also math and do, in Python you can do math like this. You can add, subtract. So if you want to print out a math thing, it will work, but make sure you're doing it with integers. So you're not writing a string, because then of course it is one message. You can also subtract. You can multiply with a star, 15, and you can divide. You can also do the power of. The power of is 2 stars, so it's actually 2 to the power of 2. And something also useful to know is a remainder. So remainder you can do with percentage, and it will actually divide to 3 by 2, and it will get the remainder of the division. So you can get 15 and 4, and the remainder will be 3, because 12 you can divide by 4, and the remainder, and then it's going to 15 subtracted by 12, and that's 3. So that's a good way to work with numbers and to get some math in Python. So now we're at the end of the video. I hope you learned something about Python, and if you have some questions or problems, you can always ask them in the comments. So, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.